What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can get notified of all our latest content, and leave your comments below about the content of these videos. So let's get into it. I was recently going to do a video about David Benavidez, who done a call out of Jermall Charlo, who's also his, both of those guys are under the PBC banner, managed by Al Heyman, and I think they mainly box on Fox Sports. So yeah, recently David Benavidez called out Jermall Charlo and said, yeah, I want to fight with Jermall. Those are the fights that will get me motivated, and those are the fights in which he said that he would thrive in and he'd really enjoy. He said it should be easy to make, and the idea was that basically they're both Al Heyman fighters, both under that banner, the PBC banner. So a fight between those two should be fine. They should be able to make it. There is a weight differential because obviously David Benavidez, he's been a bit of a naughty boy, lost his title on the scales and stuff like that, and you know, he fights at super middleweight, so whereas Jermall Charlo fights at middleweight. But again, it's one of these where you got to think to yourself, and I think this is probably what Benavidez was thinking. You've got champions down there like Golovkin, but because Golovkin's with the Zone, and because of all these politics and these silly politics we have in boxing today, I know we did have them in the past too, but because of these silly politics, you're probably not going to get a Jermall Charlo versus a Gennady Golovkin, a Triple G. So that's kind of not happening, you know. And then you got another one in Demetrius Andrade, which really and truly that should be what Jermall Charlo's looking at next, because at the end of the day, look, he's got a few belts at middleweight, and Demetrius Andrade is another undefeated middleweight, same weight as you and everything. He's got his belt, the WBO belt, but there doesn't seem to be any interest at all in Jermall Charlo, or Jermall Charlo doesn't really seem to have any interest in fighting Demetrius Andrade. Which really and truly is one that should easily be made, really, because I mean, I know we've got the politics and this side of the street, that side of the street, but when you think about it, let's think about it from purely boxing terms. You know, you got one guy with a belt, WBO, he's been reigning for a while, he's been trying to get the marquee fights, yeah, and then you got another guy who's got the more or less the rest of the belts in Jermall Charlo. So what is the problem? Why can't they get together? But anyway, that seems like that's not going to work. So now I think this is where Benavidez is coming from, that although yes, he's in the super middleweight division, he's thinking to himself, well, you're not going to fight the other champions down at your own weight because of the politics, so why not come to super middleweight and fight me? Although obviously he doesn't have a belt or anything, but at the end of the day, it's a fight that arguably should be able to be made. They're both Al Heyman fighters, PBC fighters. They're both on the same side of the street. They both fight on the same networks and everything. So why not? But Jermall Charlo has come out and said something that I find to be absurd and very frustrating as a fan. He said that the guy, this Benavidez, he's under 20, he's not even 25 years old. He's too young to fight me, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to fight some guy that's under 25. He's too young for me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what on earth is that? Like, this type of talk, it just baffles me, man. Because look, at the end of the day, look, boxing is a young man's game. And I don't get what you're talking about, like, because it's the only, that talk of too young, too old, it's like you're talking about dating someone or what, you know. It's really weird to me, because I can remember, you know, back in the days, look at Benitez, he won his world title at 17 fighting grown men. Look at even guys like Canelo, you know, all these Mexicans. Look at Marquez, look at Barrera, all these guys, yeah, they turn pro at young boys, 13, 14 years old, fighting grown men. And at the end of the day, this is the fight game. So if you're two fighters in and around the same division, what on earth does age have to do with it? Like, it's just one of the weirdest excuses I've ever heard in my life, that the guy is too young. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Because with boxing, once you're old enough, you're old enough. Once you're whatever, over 18 or what, you're gonna fight grown men. That's part of the sport. Even in the amateurs, you know, once you get to senior level as an amateur, you're boxing grown men. You could box a 30-year-old. You could box anyone up to the age of like 34. You could box a 28-year-old, 29. It doesn't really matter. You know, once you enter the sport of professional boxing, age is just, it's relevant in the sense of how long you've got left in your career and how much wear and tear is on your body. But this is just, it's a weird way, like, of, and to me it's basically like it's kind of like a duck to me, because it's just like, of all the things you could say, and it's a weird one, because I don't know why you'd want to duck this fight, because I mean this is it's an in-house fight. If you really believe in yourself and believe in your skills, why wouldn't you want to fight someone like David Benavidez? You know, David Benavidez is a good fighter. He's under your banner, and it's like, if you're not going to fight Demetrius Andrade, you're not going to fight obviously Canelo. That's not going to happen. So, and you're not going to fight Andrade. You're not going to fight Triple G. You're not going to fight Canelo. So what other name is really out there for you to fight, to make a load of money and a fight that would be competitive? Why not? Like, why not take the smoke with David Benavidez if you think you can beat him, and go for it? Like, what is the problem? I mean, these are supposed to be fighters. These are supposed to be fighting men who fight for a living. So someone challenges you. It's only one weight division up. Why not take it? I don't know. These excuses are just absolutely beyond me. I don't understand it. You know, I don't understand it. Coming from guys that are fighters, you know, they fight for a living. You won't fight. You're not fighting the best in your division. You're not fighting the other champions. So, and then a guy from your own stable calls you out, and you say he's too young. That one is just, it just baffles me. It just baffles me, because it's like, you don't want that. Then who are you gonna fight? You're gonna fight somebody else who's gonna be a knockover job or a walkover, or you're gonna take some other easy guy, unknown guy at middleweight? You know, it just frustrates me, because I would understand it if he said, right, I don't want to fight you at super middleweight because I want to fight one of the middleweight champions. I want to clean up my own division first, and then perhaps I'll go up to super middleweight. That would be respectable, and that would be understandable, and there would be no problem. I'd have no problem with that. But for you to not fight the top guys in your own division, get called out by someone in the division above who's under your same stable, so there shouldn't be the politics involved, and then you say, he's too young, that's just ridiculous stuff right there. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the matter. Until next time, this is MKO Pugilism, over and out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below.